Welcome back to Candy Crafty. Today, my mommy is going to show you how to make my monsters that I have on.
And here are the supplies you'll need. You'll need a t-shirt. I got mine at Michael's Arts and Crafts. You'll need some felt. You'll need some embroidery floss, needles, some straight pins, a pair of sewing scissors, and that's it. Starting with the white part of the eye, I just freehand cut it. I didn't even trace anything. And I'm using the blue embroidery floss just to hand stitch or hand embroider that big eyeball right in the center of the shirt. And the reason we chose just to do one eyeball as opposed to two random sizes or even three eyeballs is because after looking through a bunch of books, this was my son's choice. Now moving on to the iris, I used some blue, kind of like a royal blue felt, and I just pinned it on using a few straight pins. This time I'm going to sew using red embroidery floss. I just thought it was fun to change up the color, and also I just thought, having red around the eye would make kind of for like, a silly spooky monster. So just using the same stitching pattern, just random, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Now we're going to add the black pupil right in the center, just with some white embroidery floss in a big X pattern. Okay, now you can see I have pinned on 3 white triangle shapes. Those are going to be teeth. And with the red embroidery floss again, I am going to make kind of like a silly grin on my monster. So I'm starting over on this side, and I'm going to make kind of a wave pattern as I'm sewing. And then I'm going to sew right over the top of the teeth, sewing them onto the shirt. I'm not going to even bother to go all the way around each tooth, just over the top so it looks like, kind of a silly, off-centered monster grin. This would be a great project to do not only for Halloween like I'm doing for my son, but for like a birthday party if you're doing like a monster themed birthday party. And also this would be a great like beginner sewing project if you have a little girl who is old enough to use a real needle and is interested in, trying to do her first little hand embroidery project, or any moms that would like to make their children something but are a little bit intimidated. This project is perfect because it doesn't have to be perfect. It's a monster, right? So the stitching, the more random and haphazard it is, the cuter the shirt is. And the silly grin being in a wavy line, right? There's nothing perfect about this craft. So I think it's a great one to try. One of the wonderful things about felt also is that it doesn't fray, and so it really holds up, holds its shape really well without fraying, so you don't have to worry about that. Now last year I made my son a jack-o'-lantern t-shirt. I'll try to insert a picture so you can see what that looks like. And I knew I didn't want to keep a jack-o'-lantern face on his orange t-shirt because he would only wear it that one day of the year. So after he got home from school, I actually cut off the jack-o'-lantern face that was made out of black felt and washed it, and all the pinholes came out. You couldn't even tell that something had been there. So if you're thinking about doing this project but you really don't want a monster shirt for the rest of the year or the rest of the season, you can undo the stitching, throw it in the wash and the dryer, and the pinholes should come out. And here is a close-up on that silly little monster face. I put it on his bed. That's where I always put his new things when he gets home from school. Thanks for watching, you all, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.